Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving deep into an artist whose recent triumphs feel, well, both like a whirlwind and somehow completely earned. Divine Joy Randolph.
Absolutely. And Time magazine naming her one of the 100 most influential people in 2024, that really underscores her impact right now.
It really does. And that's why we wanted to do this deep dive, because I think for a lot of people, she sort of burst onto the scene with that incredible Oscar win.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the sources, when you dig into her background, there's this incredibly rigorous classical training foundation there.
Yeah.
It's quite remarkable, actually.
It really is. She wasn't an overnight success. She was built, crafted through years of intense work.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack that whole journey. We're going chronologically, starting with her early life, that intense education.
Yeah, the opera.
The opera roots, then moving through her Broadway debut, her shift to screen roles, both comedy and drama.
All that versatility.
And culminating, of course, in the Holdovers, and that just astonishing awards sweep. And what you'll see, I think, is how each big moment connects back to that early groundwork.
It's a fascinating trajectory. Really shows the power of deep preparation. So where do we start? The beginning, I guess.
Let's start right at the beginning. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, born May 21st, 1986. And even before we get into the arts training, we need to talk about her name.
Oh, yeah. The name story is lovely.
It really is. It gives you a little window into her family, doesn't it?
It does. So her first name, it's pronounced Davine Joy, like two separate names, no middle name.
Davine Joy.
Yeah. And the story our sources highlight is that her parents, they tried for 7 years to have a child.
Wow. 7 years.
Yeah. And so when she was born, they called her their Divine Joy.
Ah, that's beautiful. Sort of sets a certain expectation, maybe. A blessing.
Definitely a sense of destiny, perhaps. And she grew up in Mount Airy, Philly. And this is where the serious foundational work really kicks in. We're not just talking about high school drama club here.
No, not at all. This is next level stuff.
Absolutely. So she attended Interlochen Arts Camp first. That's already a pretty elite environment, focus on theater initially.
Okay.
But then Temple University. And this is the key thing. She didn't just study theater. She focused on classical vocal performance. Opera.
Opera. That always stands out to me. Because you look at her peers, other major award-winning actors today, and that specific background is, well, it's rare.
It's incredibly rare for screen actors.
So what does that give you, that intense technical opera training?
Yeah.
How does that translate beyond singing?
Oh, it's huge. Mechanically, you get insane breath control, vocal stamina.
Right.
The ability to project and sustain your voice without damage. That's crucial even for stage acting, let alone singing.
Right, endurance.
Exactly. But maybe even more importantly, it gives you this deep understanding of vocal texture, rhythm, pitch, how sound itself conveys emotion, sometimes more than the words. You learn to use your voice like a finely tuned instrument.
I see. So she had this amazing vocal toolkit, but then she made a switch at Temple.
Yeah, a really interesting pivot. In her junior year, she shifted her focus from classical opera to musical theater.
Okay. Why do you think she did that?
Well, one can only speculate, but it suggests maybe she wanted a broader canvas, where acting, dialogue, movement were just as central as the singing. But she still graduated in 2008 with that powerful musical foundation. The opera training didn't vanish. It just became this sort of secret weapon.
A secret weapon. I like that. And the education didn't stop at Temple. Not by a long shot.
No way. Post-grad, she aimed for the very top. She got into and graduated from the Yale School of Drama, master's degree in 2011.
Yale. Okay, that's serious dramatic training.
Absolutely. One of the best programs in the world. That's where you really hone acting instincts, text analysis, applying that voice to complex dramatic and comedic roles. It refines everything.
As if Temple Opera and Yale drama weren't enough.
Yeah.
She added Shakespeare.
Yep. She also studied overseas. She's an alumna of the British American Drama Academy, BADA. Spent a summer studying Shakespeare at Oxford. So think about the combination. Opera voice, Yale analysis, Shakespearean language, and presence. She basically built this artistic toolkit that could handle almost anything. High drama, broad comedy, musical theater. She was ready.
And that readiness paid off almost immediately, didn't it? Straight out of that intense training period and onto Broadway.
Pretty much instantly. 2012, she makes her Broadway debut, Ghost, the musical. And not just in the chorus, she lands the iconic role of Oda Mae Brown.
The Whoopi Goldberg role from the movie. That's a huge part.
Huge. And the casting story itself is fantastic. It really speaks to her talent just shining through.
How so?
Well, the sources say she didn't even go in aiming for Oda Mae Brown initially. She auditioned for an understudy position for the Broadway transfer.
An understudy. Seriously.
Seriously. But apparently she blew them away in the audition. They saw her potential and cast her directly in the principal role.
That's incredible. Talk about making an impression.
Right. But before the Broadway show even opened, she got thrown into the deep end.
Oh, what happened?
The actress playing Oda Mae in the London production, Sharon D. Clarke, had a minor knee injury. This was just as they were finalizing the Broadway transfer.
Ah, okay. Bad timing.
For Clarke, yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe good timing for Randolph. They needed someone strong, quickly, so they flew Devine over to London to cover the role.
Wow. So her actual professional debut in the role was in the West End.
Yeah, December 16th, 2011. Imagine that pressure, stepping into a hit show in a major role in London months before your own Broadway opening.
That's a trial by fire. Must have proved she could handle anything.
Absolutely. So when the Broadway production finally opened in April 2012, she wasn't just prepared, she was seasoned. And the critics noticed.
They did. She got rave reviews for her energy, her comedy.
And immediate industry recognition. Right out of the gate, her first Broadway show, she gets a Tony nomination for Best Featured Actress in a Musical.
Incredible.
And a Drama League nomination, too. I mean, coming straight from Yale to a Tony nom, that sets a career trajectory few actors ever get to experience.
So she conquers Broadway. But what's really interesting is how quickly she pivots, or rather expands into screen work. That jump from stage, especially opera and big musicals, to the camera, it can be tricky.
It often is. The scale is so different, but she managed it seamlessly, likely because that Yale training focused so much on nuanced acting, not just projection.
So when did the film work start?
Very quickly. 2013, just a year after the Tony nom, she's in her first feature film, Mother of George.
Okay.
It was an independent film premiered at Sundance, so right away she's positioned in that serious art house cinema world.
But she didn't stay just in indie drama.
Nope. The very next year, 2014, she's in a mainstream Hollywood comedy, The Angriest Man in Brooklyn, playing a nurse opposite Robin Williams.
Wow, from Sundance indie to a Robin Williams comedy in a year. That's a range shit.
Exactly. Showing she could operate at different volumes, different styles right from the start. But maybe the key early screen role, especially for her comedy chops, was the sitcom Selfie in 2014.
Ah, Selfie. I remember that show. Karen Gillan and John Cho.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the one. Randolph starred as Sharmonique Whittaker. It was a kind of modern take on My Fair Lady, but with social media.
Right. It didn't last long, did it?
Sadly, no. Canceled after just one season. But it developed this really passionate cult following online. People loved it.
And her character, Sharmonique.
She was fantastic, smart, grounded, really funny, often the voice of reason, but with great comedic timing. It definitely put her on the map for TV comedy.
And it seems like that show really meant something to her personally, too.
Yeah, that's a key point. Years later, like in 2022, she was still talking about how much she loves Selfie and the character, said she'd absolutely come back for a movie or a revival if they ever did one.
That's telling.
It shows she values the work, the character, the connection with the audience, not just the project's commercial success. And it built her a loyal fan base early on.
Okay, so after Selfie and those early film roles, we enter this period, say, 2015 to 2022. And looking at her credits, it's just relentless. She worked constantly.
It's an avalanche, like you said. And this is where you really see her consciously building that versatility, I think. Refusing to be typecast.
She's jumping between genres constantly.
Yeah.
Heavy drama 1 minute, broad comedy the next.
Exactly. Look at her TV work in this period. On the drama side, she had a recurring role, Tanya, in the first season of This Is Us. That show was huge and known for its emotional weight.
Right, 2016. Very intense role.
Then she's playing Pound Cake in Empire from 2017 to 2018, another big, dramatic, slightly heightened network show. She could handle that scale, grounded it in emotion. That's the Yale training again.
But she wasn't just doing heavy drama.
Not at all. Simultaneously, she starred in People of Earth for 2 seasons, 2016-2017.
Oh yeah, the quirky sci-fi comedy. She played the postal worker, Yvonne.
Exactly. Completely different tone, light, funny, dealing with aliens. And she had great guest spots, too. The Good Wife, Veep.
Veep, that requires razor-sharp comedic timing.
Totally, which she clearly had. But then comes the film role that I think really shifted things into high gear for her industry standing. The one that kind of paved the way for the Holdovers.
You mean Dolemite Is My Name?
That's the one. 2019. playing Lady Reed opposite Eddie Murphy.
Such a great movie. And she was phenomenal in it.
Phenomenal's the right word. Lady Reed, based on a real person, needed swagger, vulnerability, incredible comedic timing, but also real traumatic depth. She wasn't just a sidekick to Murphy's Dolemite.
No, she was more like his anchor, his conscience sometimes.
Exactly. And the film was seen as this big comeback for Eddie Murphy, but everyone, critics and audiences alike, pointed to her performance as a major highlight. She stole scenes left and right.
How did the industry respond specifically to that role?
It was huge. She started getting major award nominations, specifically within Black cinema circles, AAFCA nominations, NAACP Image Award nomination, and then she swept the Black Reel Awards.
Oh, wow. What did she win there?
Both Outstanding Supporting Actress and Outstanding Breakthrough Performance. That breakthrough win is significant. It's the industry saying, okay, she's arrived, she's ready for more substantial leading type roles.
That makes sense. It felt like a real moment for her. Okay, let's talk about another major thread running through this period, something that connects directly back to Temple and opera. Voice acting.
Oh yeah, she's incredibly prolific as a voice actor, and you can absolutely hear how that classical vocal training gives her an edge.
How so? What's the connection?
Well, voice acting requires immense vocal agility, control, and endurance. You might be doing multiple characters, different pitches, different accents, sometimes all in one session.
Right.
Opera training builds that vocal stamina and flexibility. It teaches you to use your voice efficiently, powerfully, without strain. So she can embody a cartoon animal in the morning and a gritty detective in the afternoon.
And the list of her voice roles is extensive.
It really is. Early on, Christine and Abby Fisher in the Mr. Peabody and Sherman show on Netflix. And then bigger stuff. Ranger Wolf in Madagascar, A Little Wild, Tamarine Tukin in the brilliant adult animation Tuca and Birdie, Tina in Chicago Party Ant, Detective Gail Johnson in Ultra City Smiths. She's everywhere in animation.
In major animated films, too.
Absolutely. She was in Trolls World Tour as Bliss Marina and Shalia B., and a role I just loved, Mama Luna in Puss in Boots, The Last Wish.
Oh, Mama Luna, the cat lady, she was wonderful.
Wasn't she? So warm, so eccentric, a completely distinct character voice, totally different from her live-action work, just pure vocal performance skill.
And while doing all this voice work, she's still churning out live-action roles.
Non-stop. She was a main cast member, Charisse, in the High Fidelity series on Hulu in 2020.
Loved her in that.
Then she's playing Rosalind in the biopic, The United States versus Billie Holiday in 2021, serious dramatic territory again.
And then something lighter, bigger budget.
Yep, The Lost City in 2022. The action comedy with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum. She played Beth Hatton. It showed she could hang in a big, star-driven studio comedy ensemble. She was consistently working with A-listers.
And we have to mention the TV role that's probably most familiar to people right now, besides The Holdovers, and earned her another major nomination.
Detective Williams in Only Murders in the Building.
Yes, such a great character.
She's fantastic in it, playing the very dry, very skeptical, very pregnant detective dealing with the absurdity of the main trio.
She's the perfect straight woman to their antics.
Totally. And it's a recurring role she's had since 2021. That performance earned her a Primetime Emmy nomination for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Comedy Series just this year, 2024.
So let's just recap that. Tony nominee, Black Reel Award winner, Emmy nominee, prolific voice actor.
The range is just incredible. Stage, screen, drama, comedy, voice work.
Yeah.
She'd already proven she could do pretty much everything and do it exceptionally well.
She was already a deeply respected actor by this point.
Yeah.
But even with all that success, nothing could quite prepare us for what came next.
No. The Holdovers was different. A whole other level.
It really was. So 2023, she stars in Alexander Payne's film, The Holdovers, playing Mary Lamb.
And Mary Lamb. What a character. The head cook at this kind of lonely New England boarding school over Christmas break in the 70s. And she's just lost her son in the Vietnam War.
The grief is palpable, but so quiet.
That's the key. It's a performance built on restraint, on unspoken emotion. She's surrounded by Paul Giamatti's crusty teacher and Dominic Sessa's troubled student, these more outwardly expressive characters, but she is the absolute emotional core of the film.
And this feels like the ultimate payoff for all that training we discussed, right? The opera, Yale.
Absolutely. This is where it all converges. Opera teaches that breath control, that ability to convey huge emotion with subtle vocal shifts, not shouting. Yale teaches the deep character work, the understanding of
Yeah,
subtext.
so she can convey that ocean of grief without big, showy scenes.
Exactly. There are long stretches where Mary is just watching or cooking or just being in her grief. And Randolph communicates everything with these tiny shifts in her eyes, her posture, the timbre of her voice when she does speak. It's masterful, subtle work.
And the critical reaction was immediate and overwhelming, wasn't it? Right from the Telluride premiere.
It was universal praise, not just good reviews, ecstatic reviews focusing specifically on her. There's that great quote from Pete Hammond at Deadline Hollywood.
Oh, which one?
He wrote something like, "Randolph is simply wonderful, saying more with a look than any words could ever do. She is enormously touching and earns our tears along the way."
Saying more with a look. That sums it up perfectly. That deep internal work manifesting externally with such control.
Precisely. And that performance led to, you called her an avalanche before? This was more like a tsunami, the awards sweep.
An unprecedented sweep, really. We have to emphasize that. When we say sweep in this context, what does that actually mean for the listener?
It means she won pretty much everything, every single major award for supporting actress during the 2023-2024 season. It signifies this rare, overwhelming consensus across the entire industry. Actors, directors, critics, everyone agreed her performance was the one.
So let's tick them off, starting with the big televised ones, the big four.
Okay. She won the Academy Award, the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress.
Check.
She won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture.
Check.
She won the BAFTA, the British Academy Film Award for Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah.
And she won the Screen Actors Guild Award, the SAG Award, for outstanding performance by a female actor in a supporting role.
The big four. That's incredibly rare air she's breathing there.
Yeah.
Like Lupita Nyong'o for 12 years, a slave, Viola Davis for Fences kind of territory.
Exactly. Historic stuff. But it wasn't just the big televised awards. The critics groups were just as unified.
Right, and sometimes the critics recognize performances the bigger awards miss. But
Here, they were completely on board. She won the Critics' Choice Movie Award. She won the Independent Spirit Award, recognizing the film's indie roots.
and the major regional critics groups, the influential ones.
Dominated them. National Board of Review winner, New York Film Critics Circle winner, LA Film Critics winner, though that was a shared award, notably.
Shared. Interesting.
Yeah, LA and Toronto critics gave shared awards that year, possibly reflecting the strength of the field, but also maybe how integral her performance was felt to be alongside others. She also won Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Fort Worth. Just listing them gets exhausting.
It's an incredible list. It just shows the breadth and depth of the acclaim. It wasn't just one faction liking it. It was universal.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just her individual performance being recognized. The Holdovers cast also won several Best Ensemble awards from critics groups like San Diego and St. Louis.
Which reinforces that idea of her being the anchor, the heart of that ensemble.
Exactly. Her quiet strength elevated the entire film. So yeah, that awards run. It wasn't luck. It felt like the culmination of everything she'd been working towards, the payoff for all that discipline.
Absolutely earned. And even while all this Holdovers madness was happening, she wasn't resting on her laurels. 2023 was a busy year beyond that film, too.
Incredibly busy. She had two other really significant and very different roles out that same year.
Right. What were they?
First, she played the legendary gospel singer Mahalia Jackson in Rustin, the biopic about Bayard Rustin.
Wow, playing an icon like Mahalia Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
That requires serious presence. And vocal chops, too, obviously.
Definitely. A weighty historical role. And then completely flipping the script.
Yes.
She played Destiny, the manager of the pop star played by Lily Rose Depp in HBO's very controversial series, The Idol.
Oh, right. The Idol. Talk about a contrast from Mahalia Jackson.
Total 180. From respected gospel icon to a sharp, modern manager navigating the messy pop music world in a really provocative show.
That pairing right there, Rustin and the Idol, in the same year as the Holdovers, just perfectly encapsulates her range and her fearlessness, doesn't it?
It really does. She's clearly not interested in playing it safe or sticking to one lane, even after winning the Oscar.
So looking ahead now, post-Oscar win, what's next on the horizon? The momentum seems unstoppable.
It certainly looks that way. Her upcoming film slate is packed, and again, it shows that commitment to variety.
What do we got?
Well, first up, probably in 2025, is an action comedy called Bride Hard.
action comedy. That's
Yeah, co-starring Rebel Wilson, Divine plays a character named Lydia, so jumping right back into comedy, but with an action twist. It shows she still loves flexing those comedic muscles.
good for her. What else?
There's another action-oriented film called Shadow Force. She plays a character listed as Auntie or Marvella. That sounds like maybe a larger ensemble action piece.
Getting into bigger studio pictures?
Seems like it. And then there's The Gallerist, which is listed as post-production, maybe for 2026. That title suggests something potentially more character-driven, maybe more artistic.
Balancing the studio fare with indie spirit, perhaps?
Potentially, yeah. And there's one other interesting, slightly unusual project mentioned in the sources.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, she's set to appear in a music video in 2025 for the Japanese rock star Yoshiki.
Yoshiki from X-Japan.
Yeah, the legendary Yoshiki. It's for a narrative version of his song Butterfly, appearing in a high-profile international music video. That's a cool, unexpected move that speaks to her global recognition now. And it ties back to her musical roots, in a way.
That's fascinating. She's really leveraging this moment to explore different avenues.
Definitely seems that way. She's refusing to be boxed in. The future looks incredibly bright and intriguingly unpredictable.
So let's try and wrap this up. If we synthesize this whole incredible journey, what's the core narrative here?
I think the core narrative is that Divine Joy Randolph is the absolute embodiment of talent meeting relentless preparation. This wasn't overnight success. This was decades of honing her craft, starting with that incredibly demanding classical foundation.
Right. We saw the opera training, the Yale intensity, leading directly to that instant Broadway validation with the Tony nomination.
Then using that foundation to pivot to the screen, navigating everything from cult sitcoms like Selfie to scene-stealing roles in films like Dolemite, all while becoming this go-to voice actor. She mastered every medium.
And all of that culminated in the Holdovers. That performance as Mary Lamb wasn't just great acting. It was the sum of all that training. The vocal control, the emotional depth, the physical stillness. It required everything she'd learned.
It really did. And the result was that historic, undeniable awards sweep. It felt inevitable in retrospect, earned.
And her career is just this incredible case study in artistic range, isn't it? I mean, think about it. She holds a Tony nomination for theater, an Emmy nomination for TV comedy, and an Oscar win for film drama.
That trifecta is exceedingly rare. It proves complete mastery across platforms. From Broadway's stage presence, to the intimacy of TV comedy timing, to the profound depth needed for cinematic drama.
She's gone from being a brilliant supporting player, someone you were always happy to see pop up, to being, well, an essential leading force.
Absolutely. An artist who elevates everything she's in. The industry clearly recognizes that now.
The world is definitely her oyster. So the question we want to leave you, the listener, with is this. We know she has these exciting projects coming up, Bride Hard, Shadow Force, The Gallerist, maybe others we don't even know about yet. Which of these, or perhaps something entirely new, do you think will be the project that truly cements her status? Not just as an Oscar-winning supporting actress, but as the undeniable leading generational star she seems poised to become.
That's a great question to ponder. What's the next definitive Divine Joy Randolph role?